I have exciting news to share with you guys. If you're connected with me on Instagram or LinkedIn, you may have already seen it. Your Knowledge Buddy was featured in Daily Mail, which is UK's leading newspaper. I never imagined that my content, something I started as a side hustle over 4 years ago, would grab the attention of one of the UK's leading news platform, which is Daily Mail. My story has been covered by a few news channels in India before, but this is crazy. So, thank you everyone who have supported me so far, and hopefully you all will support me going forward as well. Today we'll be discussing why more people are choosing to relocate from the UK to Dubai. Recent research indicates that UK nationals are making the move for various reasons, including enhanced safety, a warm climate, tax-free income, high-end dining experiences, and affordable yet luxurious properties. According to John Mason, International Movers, there has been a 420% increase in relocation inquiries from UK nationals over the past 5 years, leading up to 2024. In the 12 months to last March alone, inquiries surged by 45%. Currently, over 240,000 UK expats are estimated to be living in Dubai, with many drawn to the city by the 5,000 British companies operating within the UAE. To delve deeper into this trend, I have invited a special guest to join me today. Many of you already know her. She's an influencer and a fellow content creator. Her name is Mehar, and you can find her on social media under the handle @Mehar_MSB Vision on Instagram. Without further delay, let's welcome Mehar and hear her thoughts on why she made the move from the UK to Dubai after living here for 8 years. Hi Mehar, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy, and if you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself to my audience, please?
Hi Sarika, thank you for having me. My name is Mehar Sindhu Batra. I am a chartered accountant from India and an MBA from Imperial College in London. I have been running my own venture where I coach and mentor students on their careers and professional journeys with more than 10 years of experience across different industries in consulting, in startups. I decided to start an Instagram channel called MSB Vision where I share all the career tips that I have learned over the years with my audience, with my community. And over the last 4-5 years, we have built an audience of more than 700,000 across different platforms. I used to live in the UK. I've recently moved to Dubai. So that's my third country now, India, UK, and the UAE. And yeah, I'm excited to chat with you today.
Thank you, Mehar. And today's topic is why and what was the decision, what was the reason behind your decision to leave UK and move to Dubai? If I understand correctly, you were here for more than 8 years, right, Mehar, in the UK? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I want to understand from you, from your personal perspective, when did you make that decision, after living in the UK for 8 years, what made you decide to move to Dubai? Was it carefully planned, or did certain events push you towards your decision?
So to be honest, Sarika, it was a decision that was not made overnight because I love the UK. I moved there for my master's in 2016. So it was home for me. I planned my life there. I thought I would always live there. I think the couple of things that happened sort of added to the reason and the motivation to change countries. One of them was during COVID. I couldn't meet my family for a really long time. And at that time, I just felt so helpless. And so, of course, a lot of us felt like that. But I just felt the distance between me and my family a little bit more. My dad had fallen sick, and I was like, I hadn't seen my parents for 15 months. And I promised myself that there's never going to be a time again that I don't see them for that long. So that was one of the big reasons that, I wanted to be around, available for family, not just through the bad times, but also for the good times. It's a birthday, I want to go, I should be able to go. And then once we had our daughter, last year, that's when I really felt the presence of my family really missing. So yeah, family element was a big factor from my end. From my husband's perspective, I felt he just reached a stage in his career where he felt he was paying too much in taxes. And he just wanted to explore other nations, other countries, other cities where it would be a little bit, financially it made sense for us because we lived in central London. So, the cost of living after a child, it just shot up the roof. So from his angle, it was a financial and more professional angle. For me, it was more like to do with the emotional and family aspect. So we sort of came to a joint decision after a couple of years. Yeah.
It was interesting reasoning. So I'm very curious to know why Dubai over other countries, or even why not back to India?
So we were actually, I spoke about this on my Instagram also. We were confused between Mumbai and Dubai. Mumbai because, so my husband works in finance, and for him to be in a corporate job in finance, Mumbai is the financial hub in India. So it was was, a very close competitor when it came to Dubai. It was not decided that 100% we want to go to Dubai. But how we decided was a couple of reasons is that distance-wise, because we are both from Delhi, so distance-wise, they were both equidistant. It is a 3-hour flight from Dubai and 3-hour flight from Mumbai. So we went to both the cities last year. We sort of made like a pros and cons. We have some family actually in Dubai. We don't have any family in Mumbai. And a couple of our friends from London have moved to Dubai as well. So we just felt like it felt more familiar in many ways because, if you have some support, it just makes things easier. So that was one of the reasons. Again, family and friends support. The second was a little bit to do with just in terms of, career growth and how dynamic this city is. From a careers perspective, somebody in education, as somebody in the career space, this region is really booming in terms of people wanting to come here, different types of industry setting base here, setting up their head offices now here. So from that perspective, I felt like this was the right time to join this economy and, how the changes are coming. The government is really pushing for education and career counseling, etc., to really come up here. So that was one of the reasons from my end. From his end, it was again the opportunity that came from his organization was for the UAE market. So it was all these couple of things that, sort of made us make that decision. And again, because we had lived internationally, my husband's been out of India for the last 15 years and he's lived across multiple countries. So I think it just came down to like an international kind of a landscape versus going back to India. Maybe in the future we go back to Mumbai, but for now we thought that, it's we want to be a part of that international hustle bustle. So
okay. Thanks, Mehar. Mehar, because you lived here for a very long time in the UK, 8 years, did you also apply your ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain?
Yes, we did apply for the ILR. Yes.
Is that a backup plan? If you don't like Dubai, you may come back.
Yeah, always have a backup plan, no? Always have a backup plan. We do have the ILR. It was just, again, like the decision came after we had already applied for the ILR. We had the ILR and then, so we were like, been here for so long, let's get the ILR and then see.
Yeah, definitely. Another question, because I know you like to do proper planning. So I'm sure you would have not moved to Dubai without a job, or your husband did not move without a job. So did you kind of already started looking for you when once you landed a job, then only you made the move?
Yes. So my husband had, he was confused what to do next. So he had an internal conversation with his team, with his boss, and he looked for opportunities within the organization in the UAE. And then when he found something that was interesting, he had a conversation, and then they were like, I'm giving you a summary in 1 second, but it was over a period of months that this thing happened. So it was just a lot of back and forth, whether it makes sense, whether, he should apply for this position, etc. So yes, once he did get the go ahead, that's when I started to also look for opportunities. So I ended up finding a job with a university in the careers team, and I had 2 rounds of interviews in London remotely, and then final round of interview with the dean of the university when I was visiting Dubai. So yeah, so all of our career sort of was sorted before we moved here. So that it ended up being pretty easy, but otherwise the plan was, because I was anyway running my own business, etc., so there was no urgency to find a job from my end. But I just thought that, I'm going into a new country, I'm starting my life from scratch. It'll be nice to actually go and see how people work here, have a routine, actually mingle with people and get to know about the local market. And that was a conscious decision that I made. That's why I applied for jobs.
Okay, amazing. Mehar, is it too early to talk about, are you able to compare the job market in Dubai as compared to UK?
I think I can. I feel like, I get this question a lot, Sarika, to be honest. Since I have announced my move on my Instagram and YouTube, I have got so many messages from people wanting to do the same thing. And one of the top questions is about the job market. I will say that it's very varied in terms of different industries. Like some industries are very booming. For example, finance, analytics, we see a lot even, in my day-to-day, because I interact with students here as well. So analytics opportunities are booming. Fintech is very much booming. Anything to do with tech is really upcoming here. But in terms of even marketing, actually, marketing opportunities are great. So yes, there are certain sectors here that are really, really booming, but there's also competition, just like in the UK, because, you have in the UK, what happens is there is a sponsorship that is attached to, you being able to get a job. Here, what is happening is because everybody from around the world is happy to move to the GCC right now. There's a lot of competition, not just with local talent, you're also competing with international talent. I think it's very similar to London in that way. So yes, it's very competitive. That is one commonality. But yes, there are certain sectors that are very much much booming here, and the world is right now looking at the GCC, looking at the UAE, because things are a little stable here from the government's perspective, right? So in terms of all of those reasons, it's becoming a very lucrative place for people to apply for roles and for companies now. So it's between demand and supply. I feel there's more demand for jobs than there is a supply of jobs. So because of that, the salaries are sort of competitive. They're not very high. They're a little bit competitive because they know that they can find a great candidate sitting in the US who'd be easily happy to move to the UAE. So that is something that I have noticed, and I have definitely been telling my audience about as well.
I'm going to ask one question. If you don't want to answer, you can let me know. The role that you got in Dubai now in the education sector, if you were doing the same role in the UK, if you have to compare the salary that you were offered in UK versus Dubai, which is more?
I think salary wise, it's the same, but what you're getting is more because there's no taxes, right? So salaries, that's why people are getting drawn to come here at sometimes even lesser salaries because there's no taxes. So in hand amount that's coming to your bank account at the end of the day is a little bit more than what it would be, and in some cases a lot more than what it would be if they were in the UK.
Okay, so that was also one of your deciding factor other than your husband. So everybody needs money, right? At the end of the day.
Of course, yeah. But honestly, Sarika, the reason to move was, I talk about this openly. I think the taxes in the UK have started to pinch not just us; it's a lot of people. So I feel yes, this was an important factor because now we have a little child that we are raising, and we need that extra flexibility when it comes to the financial and monetary angle. So yeah, being completely transparent, it was a big incentive.
Okay, I meant to ask you earlier about the long-term settlement plan, but you said in the introduction you're going to see how Dubai feels like, and you're going to make plans later because you're just settling down there. You never know whether it will be UK, back to UK or Dubai, or stay in Dubai for longer or go back to Mumbai or India. Yeah. So far you're enjoying and you're settling down in Dubai, right?
Yes.
A small comparison again in terms of, when you moved from UK. So was there any kind of cultural shock to you when you went to Dubai? Was it a good or bad or any other kind of shock that you got?
I feel honestly, Sarika, it is very similar to India in many ways. The convenience of things, most of the support staff and most of the people here. It's like India. It's like the UK where you hear Hindi on the streets. Every second person is speaking Hindi. So I didn't feel like there was a cultural shock because for somebody who's a hardcore Western person who's born and raised there, for them, yes, there'll be a lot of cultural shock. But for me, coming from India, I feel like it's an extension of India. I always say this to people. It just seems like a more fancier version of India in 2050 maybe. So that's what it feels and looks like. But because I haven't honestly felt any cultural shocks as such, I'm still getting used to the codes of ethics here, how they sort of are a little particular about certain things, whether it comes to religion, whether it comes to being conservative about certain things, their festivals, their ways of doing things. But other than that, I don't think there has been any such shock other than feeling safe everywhere. It's literally what was shocking to me is that my friend, I went for lunch with her once. She just left her bag and her phone on the table, and then we went out to it was a food court kind of a place. So we went and got all our food and everything. 15 minutes later, we came, her bag and her phone was still there. So that was a big shock for me because in the UK, we're constantly hiding our phones. So yeah, that was the biggest shock. But other than that, no, I felt like home here. Yeah.
I have a similar example when I visited my sister last year. So I left my phone in the washroom and I completely forgot about it. And after 1 hour, I went, my phone was still there. Nobody touched it. So in terms of safety, yes. And any terms of difference you see in lifestyle. For example, one of the things that we Indians kind of are pampered back in India, having maids cook to do our stuffs here. In the UK, I do it on my own or my husband does it. Together we do it. Back in Dubai, do you think you have that kind of more support because the labor is a little cheaper as compared to UK?
Yes. So I would say in terms of cost comparison, because I've not lived in Mumbai, but like Delhi versus, so if Delhi is here, Dubai is here, and then UK is here, right? So Dubai is sort of in the middle when it comes to like the support staff and cleaners and cooks and, any other kind of help that you need. I will say other than that, the cost of living in Dubai is quite high because everything seems reasonable, but it's not. Like, they say there are no taxes, but Sarika, I feel indirectly there are a lot of other fee that we need to pay. So everything is a little bit more expensive when it comes to the basic stuff. Like internet here is very expensive, so Wi-Fi, internet, super expensive. Your phone bill, super expensive. So those are the things that I feel that are indirectly taxed to you. So it's not like, oh my God, everything is cheap. It's going to be as cheap as India, whereas you're earning in dirhams, and it's not like that. The cost ends up being more for you. So yeah, support staff definitely a little bit cheaper than UK, but everything else, it just accumulates because there's so much more that you're paying everywhere else. So by international city, Sarika, I mean that this city is so multicultural. Like when I'm going to the office also, I have somebody who's from Philippines, somebody who's from England, somebody who's from Romania, somebody who's from Russia. It's just so diverse. South Africa, oh my God, there's just so much diversity. Even when I'm going to, let's say, the salon, there's somebody from Cameroon, there's somebody from Egypt. It's just so diverse, and I get to learn so much about different cultures. And that's exactly what I wanted to be a part of after moving from the UK, because the life in UK is also like that, right? You walk on the street, you learn about a new culture, you eat Ethiopian food for lunch, and then you're having Italian food for dinner. So it's exactly the same when it comes to, comparing London with Dubai. That way it was very similar. Okay, that multicultural element was still there.
If I talk about just having, say, a normal walk in the afternoon, do you think you can do that in Dubai?
Oh, no, you can't do that at all. That's something that it's going to be my first summer here. So that's when I'll actually be able to tell you. Maybe in August, I'll tell you that I'm missing London summer. But no, you can't really walk until, like right now, you can go for a walk around like 5 o'clock, 5:30. And they sort of now have given a warning that the temperatures are going to go very high. So between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., they're recommending not to step out without the AC or without like in a car or etc. is fine. But don't be walking on the streets. So no, that is one thing of the UK that I really miss, like the parks, the walks, and just being able to go to a cafe, walking and just grab a coffee. So yeah, that's something that I definitely cherishly miss.
Yeah. So Mehar, I follow you on Instagram, so I watch your stories and reels. So I know you have already mentioned those stuffs before as well. To be honest, I'll tell you something. My sister, who lives in Dubai for more than 10, 11 years now. So when she visited me last year, it was my working day, and we had a quickly lunch like in 10, 15 minutes. Then I said, let's go for a quick walk. And she's like, it's your office hours, right? It's like, yeah, but it's a lunch break. It's like, okay, can you go for a lunch break? It's like, yeah, I can go for a lunch break because it's my lunch break. So it was a little shock for her, because maybe in Dubai, maybe because of temperature, you cannot do that. Or maybe the lunch break kind of thing. I don't know whether people follow that. It's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes or 1 hour. I don't know. But she was pretty shocked seeing me walk during the lunch break, like 12-ish.
I think that depends again where you're working. I'm working at a university. We also really cherish our lunch break. So yes, we definitely get a walk around campus or go downstairs for a walk. But yeah, definitely. I think it depends on where you're working. What is the culture like? You can't really go for a walk, but here malls are huge. So people actually walk in the malls, and they go with the strollers of the babies in the malls, and they're walking there. So I think you must have noticed when you came here is that malls are a big thing, because that's where you can go.
Yeah.
That's indoor. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think, Mehar, we touched upon different aspects of Dubai, comparing with UK, your personal reasons why you decided to move to Dubai. Any kind of final thoughts that you want to recommend to my audience who are considering move from UK to Dubai? Any kind of advice for people who are in that kind of jinx now, thinking, should I not? What do you have to say?
I will just say that, it always seems grass is greener on the other side. I think if you do want to move to any city, not just Dubai, just be very sure of your reasons as to why, and list out your pros and cons, because it's not like life is very easy here. It's very much like London, where everybody's hustling, and there is this constant fast pace. Like I can't even think of how quickly the last few months have flown by. So there is a lot of competition. There is a lot of there is a hustle kind of a culture. So you have to be okay with that. And yeah, so list your pros and cons if you're making a decision like that, because no city is perfect. You just have to see what fits into your life right now. And yeah, that would be my final advice. Run your numbers, do the thinking, think of the other costs, not just the salary element. If you're going to pay more in rent, you'll have to get some support staff, whatever it is. Just do that final analysis before you make that decision. UK is a beautiful country in many ways, and the fresh air is like no other place in the world. So yeah, definitely have a think before you make the decision.
Yeah, fresh air versus tax. Okay.
I guess.
Meher, I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for being so honest and sharing your journey and your reasoning to move to Dubai. And I wish you all the best. And I am excited to see what you do in next 6 months or maybe 1, 2 years or even after a couple of years and stay in touch.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much for having me, Sarika. It was lovely talking to you and hope to see you here when you visit your sister next.
Definitely. Thank you, Meher.
Okay, bye bye.